It is okay and actually good to start over, and I'm gonna tell you why. So no matter who you are, right? If you live long enough, there's gonna come a day, whether it's with a relationship or a job that you worked or anything that you've put a good amount of time in. There's gonna come a day, unfortunately, that it might end. And if it does end, right? What you have to realize is that it's not wasted. Whatever it was, whether it's a relationship, job, whatever, you did not waste time doing that thing. Whether you became a new person or you just changed your mind, or things fell out, things change, circumstances, they change all the time. And it's okay. It is okay for you to pick up the pieces and move on with your life and make something new. One of the things you have to remember when there is this conflict in your brain of, oh, do I start over? I wasted all this time, blah, blah, blah. One thing you have to always remember is that one day we're going to die. And I know that's obviously morbid. It's kind of one of those obvious truths, memento mori, but it's extremely true. A lot of my life I was going with the flow. I've always been that guy that's oh, he goes with the flow. I go with the flow, I'm a pretty agreeable person. I just kind of do what everyone does. But one of the things I realized a little too late in my life was that when you go with the flow, when you become this type of person that just kind of does whatever, right? Sometimes life pushes you into a path that you don't actually want to live, that you don't actually want to go down. Whether it be boring stuff or a job you don't want to work, you just kind of end up in a circumstance that you don't really even find ideal. Now, for some of us, including me, right, I was this person that I ended up working jobs just because all my friends were working jobs, and I didn't want to go after dreams that I had because no one else I really knew was going after a dream. As stupid as that sounds in hindsight, that's just kind of how it was. And what happened to me personally was someone that I knew that I was very close to passed away. Something like that happens in your life, and you realize life is absurdly short. However long you think life is, it's probably a quarter of that. In actuality, every day that goes by is time that you could have spent doing something. That's not to make you feel bad or shitty. It's just to say you still have time. All the effort and stuff that you put into something that was wrong, it's okay as long as you realize you don't actually want that, or you can start over if that thing didn't work. There is I think it's Japanese, I don't really know, maybe it's racist for me to even say this, but there's a Japanese saying that's if you stay on the wrong train long enough, the ticket home becomes more expensive. It's something like that. And I want to say that the day that you decide, okay, I'm going to move on with my life anyway, I maybe I messed this thing up, or I just didn't put enough effort into this thing and it crumbled, whatever it may be, whatever the case, look at it as time that you're now saving for the rest of your life, that you get to do stuff that you actually want to be doing, that actually deserves you. If it's a job, for example, if you spent several years working a job that you're oh, it's dead end, I don't want to do this, or say it's even a specific field, an engineer, right? And you come to this conclusion one day that's I don't want to do this. I don't want to be an engineer. The money's good, the this is good, the that's good, but I don't want to do this. It's important to know that external success doesn't always equate to internal fulfillment. I would actually say, right, that, and this might be a hot take, but it is better to be a beginner in a field that you actually love, that you actually want to be in and spend time in, than an expert or one of the top of the field in something that you hate. It's not good for your soul, dude. I promise you, spending even, after you make this realization, spending even minutes in that job is soul crushing. It's soul crushing to know I know what I want to do, but now I'm not doing it. Now you're kind of betraying yourself. And no matter how well you do in that field, no matter how well you do in something that you hate, I would say the external success that you can get from something in that type of position, it almost never equates to your actual internal fulfillment. Almost never. If you're the best engineer, but you hate doing everything that an engineer does, you're better off finding the path that you actually like and just committing your time and your dedication and your passion to that. You don't have to do something just because you're good at it, just because other people said, oh wow, you're really good at it. You don't have to keep doing that thing, dude. Spend the one life that you get, the one life that, you know, we can see we're living. That's the only thing that we know we actually get. Spend it doing the stuff you absolutely love. Whether it's, you know, traveling, or it's being with people who you love to be with, or that, you know, really love to be with you. I think that's actually the best indicator of relationships. People that really love you. You only have one life. So go for it. Go for the, you know, the absurd stuff. Go for the stuff that you love, that everyone else around you might say or criticize you for doing. Like, oh, I want to be a painter, even though I'm a software engineer at Google. Become the painter, right? Or do it at least on the side. Start it at least on the side. Because that's the only way your soul is going to feel fulfilled. It's going to be satisfied. There's always going to be this like missing piece of you if you don't actually dive into that end of the pool. Now, another thing I want to say is that one of the biggest type of worries I had, even when I was really young, was I always thought I was too old to do something. Mind you, I'm currently 22. Like, I'm not even really that old. Some people will call me Unc. It's okay. I'm used to it by now. But like, even when I was like 18, 19, I would Google things like, is it too late to learn piano at 18? Is it too late to learn Spanish at 18? And that's because, you know, like the neural complexes in your mind, it's easy. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. As someone that's lived past, you know, the young age and early 20s, whatever, brother, it doesn't matter if you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 60s, your 70s, if you're freaking 90, it does not matter. Everyone gets the same exact 24 hours in a day. And the only thing that actually matters is what you do with that time, what you do with those hours, the minutes, the seconds. It doesn't mean you have to like commit your entire life and every single minute to, you know, a cause, but I'm saying if you wanted to learn a language, it doesn't, if you're 30, right? If you commit an hour, 2 hours a day that you're probably using to scroll your phone anyway, to learning a specific language, give it, you know, a year or two and you'll be proficient. It's just nobody wants to, you know, wait those 2 years, and that's kind of the problem. The older you get, I think the more daunting it gets. And one of the assumptions I have, because I'm not this age yet, but one of the assumptions I have is actually you hit a certain age when you're old enough that you realize it really doesn't matter, because you're old anyway, and it's like, well, I might as well do it anyway. But as you creep up to that type of age, it's kind of like this thing of I don't want to waste the wrong time. I don't want to put the wrong time into something because I'm so young, you know, or I would have been better if I did this thing when I was younger and I had all this progress already, all these years into it already. You know, for a lot of us, that's not the case, and that's just something we have to get over. You have to get over yourself and realize your age does not matter. Just start the thing, whether it's a job or a hobby, right? Like I said, if you find something that you actually want to do, that you actually love, that you actually have an inquisition to learn and get better at, whether it be video editing, or you're making music or streaming or painting, like I said, right? If you actually enjoy it and that can become your obsession, commit to it. Commit to it. Don't care what others say, right? And another thing I'll add with this is stop trying to compete with others. Stop being like 25 or 30 and looking at, you know, the 9-year-old Asian kid that's better than you at it. There's always going to be a 9-year-old Asian kid that's better than you at something, at really anything. It doesn't matter the field. It doesn't matter how specific. There's always going to be one. Just trust me on that. Get over it and live your life competing with yourself. It's corny and cliche, but compete with the person you were yesterday and the day before and the day before. You go back far enough, that person is probably completely different from who you are now anyway. So stop letting your age dictate what you believe you can do. Now, the last thing I'm going to say is that all of this wasted time, quote unquote, this time that we feel like we've wasted in really anything, it's actually data that we've collected, but you just don't realize it. Every single thing that you do that you don't even realize, it starts accumulating, kind of like a snowball effect. And it comes from completely unrelated things. I'm going to give a little story, right? The year that I stopped playing basketball, it was in high school, and there was a year that I stopped playing basketball. I got cut from the team. I should not have. I was a starter the year before. It makes no sense. Yeah, I was hooping my mind out. Anyway, right? The year I stopped playing, I started making music. I learned FL Studio and I started making a bunch of music. And though I didn't become, like some A-list freaking singer, right? Or rapper or whatever. I was pretty close to your average SoundCloud rapper, but that doesn't matter. That's beside the point, because if I did get rich, whatever. But, what that stemmed into was I made a YouTube channel where I was doing like music challenges with it. And that grew into a love with YouTube itself and making videos. And all that's to say, like, because I had a YouTube channel, and it's kind of abandoned at this point, right? But I grew a little community on it, and I liked it at the time. That's all to say, this channel, or any channel I make in the future, wouldn't exist if I never stopped playing basketball. Like, if I didn't get into music in the first place. It's just all of the accumulation of stuff. And if you want to see, like, if you want to actual, more tangible kind of example, right? Say you go on like a kind of an ADHD run, and you learn Blender, you learn FL Studio, and you learn Adobe After Effects. You kind of learn all the basics of all this stuff. You can create something that someone that kind of only mastered Blender wouldn't be able to do. Now that you have all of this, your hands in these different types of paint, you can make a picture no one else can do. They can't replicate it. Just trust me on that, bro. Do what you want to do, and just trust that along the way, along the ride, the snowball will kind of form into a beautiful shape. You just have to trust that. So, everything that you do, the books that you read, the movies you watch, the information you collect, but more importantly, the time you invest into things, all of that grows. If you go through a bad relationship, the next relationship, you'll learn what not to do, or what to do, or what made it better, what made it worse. Just carry that information with you and act on it accordingly. With all of that said, if you were thinking about starting over, just go for it. You have my permission. You have, the universe's permission. Trust that if you put time into the thing again and start over, it will work out for you, and it will work out better for you than you could ever even imagine. My main suggestion out of all of this is just stop waiting. Stop waiting to start over, or the perfect day to start over. There will never come a day where it's perfect. You just let it happen. You just let it ride. With all of that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great, amazing, fantastic freaking day. I love you. Peace out.